What is up, bros and broettes? I am Inkslasher, and today we're going to be answering the question, how good is the DIY 11 Renovator? Yes, the nail gun. This is a really interesting weapon, and if you ask me, it shouldn't really be considered an SMG. So the reason why it's considered an SMG is its movement speed. Its movement speed while aiming down sights is much faster than assault rifles. However, this weapon has incredible range. We're talking better than most assault rifles' great range. So this weapon has some really weird stats. We're going to look at all of them, and then by the end of this video, we'll be able to answer the question, how good is this goddamn nail gun? Oh, and by the way, I wasn't lucky enough to get this gun. This is actually a subscriber's account, so you know who you are. Thank you very much. It's really greatly appreciated. This video would not be possible without you, so seriously, man, thank you so much. So as always, guys, if you enjoy the video and you like seeing this kind of thing, it'd be fantastic if you could leave a like rating, but I want to know down in the comment section below, which versus episode would you like to see with the Renovator? Would you want to see it against the HG40 or the Kudo? What kind of weapon do you think would match up well? I'm thinking the HG40 because, well, you'll see why in a second. But let's start off by talking about the damage. So the damage on this weapon is really what makes it amazing. So at every single range, on every single map, no matter where you are, this weapon does 35 damage. 35 damage at any range. It never drops off. So that's better than all of the assault rifles except for two, the Shiva and the MX Grand. But overall, as far as automatic assault rifles go, this is the best damage profile out of SMGs and assault rifles. So that's kind of why I was saying it might be a better idea to class this weapon as an assault rifle. However, it does make sense because the movement speed's just as fast when aiming down sights as the other SMGs. So that's why they kind of take that and put it in the SMG class. But 35 damage at every single range, which means it's a 3-bullet kill at every single range. So how is this fair? This seems incredibly good, and it is, but how do they even it out? Well, there's two ways that they even it out. First of all, there is no bullet penetration, or I guess nail penetration, because, well, you're shooting nails. Also, on top of that, there's a little bit of bullet travel time. So kind of like the Shadow Claw, how it has to take time to actually fly through the air, there's a little bit. It's very minuscule, but it is noticeable. What you'll notice as soon as you pick up this weapon and start using it, it'll seem like the hit detection is a little bit off, but it's not the hit detection. What it actually is that bullet travel time, or I guess nail travel time through the air, and it kind of screws with you a little bit, but once you get used to it, and if someone's running directly at you, it's completely manageable. It's when they're kind of strafing side to side that it causes some problems. So the fact that you don't have any bullet penetration and the fact that there's a little bit of nail travel time is the reason why this is kind of evened out. On top of that, it doesn't have the best fire rate in the world. So the fire rate is 517. You may recognize this number. It's exactly the same as the HG40. That's why I'm saying a versus episode with the HG40 may be a pretty good comparison. Also, that's the exact same fire rate as the Man of War. What's interesting about that is that at every single range, the Renovator is a 3-bullet kill, whereas the Man of War is a 3 to a 4-bullet kill, and it's assault rifle. So it's really weird having that comparison between an SMG and an assault rifle. But like I said, the Renovator's got a really great damage profile. And then as I was talking about the movement speed. So the movement speed while aiming down sights is 80% movement speed, which is actually pretty damn good. And like I said, that is why it is classed as an SMG. As far as magazine goes, it actually has the smallest magazine in class at 25 rounds. It's a pretty small magazine, but when you have a slow fire rate like 517, you don't need a massive magazine, so really it's not that big of a deal. The one thing I will say about the Renovator is that the noise that it makes it sound like it's actually firing faster than 517. Like if you take the HG40 and stand it side by side with the Renovator, it sounds like the Renovator is firing faster when in reality it's not. It's just the weird sound that weapon makes. Next thing we're going to look at here is reload speed, and it actually has a pretty slow reload speed, one of the slowest in class at 2.1 seconds with bullets still in the magazine, and with an empty magazine you got 2.5 seconds. Now, it kind of makes up for that in certain ways. One of them is sprint out time. It has a pretty good sprint out time at 0.25 seconds, and also on top of that, a good aim down sights time at 0.2 seconds. So both of those stats are pretty good. But what's really amazing is the idle sway. There is practically no idle sway on this weapon. What idle sway is when you aim down sights, your sights kind of just move just a little bit, and this weapon does not move at all. It is so easy to aim with, which is, again, is kind of made up for because you have that nail travel time, the amount of time it's going to take for the bullet or nail to come out of your gun and actually hit that person, which makes it a little bit more difficult to aim. So as far as hip firing goes, the hip fire is pretty good. You got 2 inches at a minimum, 5 at a maximum. That's pretty standard for an SMG, but overall this weapon is pretty damn good. A lot of people are saying it's like a god gun. I wouldn't go that far because of the few things like penetration and bullet travel travel time. It's a little bit hard to get used to, but the skillful players will be good with this weapon. And the thing you'll notice right away is I wasn't actually succeeding with this weapon up close. Up close, weapons like the VMP, the Vesper, even some assault rifles were beating me because of that bullet travel time. However, at long range, especially when enemies are just poking their head out from behind cover, you can pick people off with this weapon, and that's what I suggest, is kind of keeping your range with this weapon and try squaring up with people, because like I said, when people are zigging and zagging, it's hard to stay on target because of that bullet travel time. So as far as a class setup and more specifically attachments goes, one thing about this weapon is there's no silencer for this weapon, but the attachments I use on this weapon are different than my normal SMG class. So what I'm using on this one is quick draw, grip, and finally rapid fire. So I don't normally use rapid fire, but I think it's pretty good on this one because it has a pretty slow rapid fire. It bumps that fire rate up to 550 RPM instead of 517, so it's not amazing, but it's a little bit better. But I don't use stock, and I normally use stock on all of my SMGs. The reason why I don't do that is because it's hard enough to line up your shots with this weapon because of that bullet travel time, and I find stock just amplifies that difficulty because you're actually moving faster and you just get off target a little bit too much. So I like to use quick draw and grip, and like I said, aiming down sights is good on this weapon because firing from the hip, it's a little bit random, and the bullet travel time screws with you firing from the hip just a little bit. So as far as this weapon goes, it's very good. The whole 3-bullet kill at any range, especially for an SMG, is even for an assault rifle, that would be amazing. So this is really good. It's really great for picking people off. It doesn't have a ton of recoil. It's pretty easy to use, but there is the skill gap there with the whole no bullet penetration, and on top of that, you kind of have to lead your bullets if your target's running away from you. If they're zigging and zagging, it's really hard to get your bullets on target. So it does even it out in that way, but it's definitely a good weapon. This is one you'll definitely want to be looking for in your supply drop. So if you guys enjoyed the video, it would be fantastic if you'd hit that like button. This is maybe one of the last one of these as far as Black Ops goes, unless some more weapons are released later, but I don't know because very soon Infinite Warfare is coming out. But like I said, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I upload new Call of Duty videos every single day of the week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and until next time, peace out.